Welcome to the June 18th meeting of the Audit Committee of the Environmental Facilities Corp. I'd ask for a roll call of the members here.
Chair Krasinski.
Here.
Director DeMurphy. I'm here. And Director Corcoran.
Here.
I know the Director Zarossi is absent, but you have a quorum.
Thank you. We have draft minutes from April 16, 2026. And that's for a motion and then we can discuss if they're to be approved.
Make the motion.
Thank you. And I'll make a second. Any discussion, any changes? Or let's just approve them, shall we? Rita can't vote because she wasn't there, but we can vote to approve as written. All right, thank you. The audit committee charter is presented here. There are no changes proposed. We take a look every year and make changes as needed, or just approve it as it exists. And if we can have a discussion, we can make a motion to approve as it is. Open to anything.
I've reviewed it and I have no questions.
Great. Want to make a motion to approve, or
make a motion to approve it with no changes?
and then Francis, what's your feeling? Okay, great.
I reviewed it and I have no suggested changes either.
Terrific. Let's vote to approve as written. Aye.
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 Thank you. We have our Jeff and Allie here from KPMG. They have results from the fiscal year just ended, March 31, and review the financial statements. And I'm looking forward to their presentation.
Perfect. Good morning, everyone. And I apologize that I couldn't be there in person, but this is the busy time of year where we're delivering all the audit results, and it seems to be rapid fire this year with the timing of the holiday and all that. But as the slide deck is pulled up, I just, as mentioned, we're here today to present the results of that independent audit of the New York State Environmental Facilities Corporation. The importance of this is our objective here for this meeting is to provide you with a clear and transparent overview of our audit findings, helping you fulfill that critical oversight role that you perform for the organization and reinforcing the public's confidence in these EFC financial statements. If we just move on to the second slide here, this is the high-level overview of the audit that we performed. Allie will, in a second here, go into a little bit more detail. But first, as mentioned, we plan on issuing a unmodified financial statement audit opinion, and that's the highest level of assurance that an auditor can give. It confirms that financial statements are presented fairly and accurately. It's considered a clean opinion and critical for EFC's bondholders, the state, and any other partners who are relying on your financial reporting. There are currently, from our audit, no corrected or uncorrected misstatements. We've identified nothing. It's a significant accomplishment and speaks directly to the quality of your financial statements. Our opinions will also cover the report on the investment compliance in accordance with Section 201.3 of Title II of the Official Compilation of Code, Rules, and Regulations of the State of New York. The other things we have here is that we do also have a future report that will be continued to work with management, which will be the separate single audit that's covered in the middle box here. But overall, the results represent a clean bill of health and provide strong assurance regarding the integrity of the financial statements and the operations and the compliance with the regulatory auditing standards. And with that, I'll turn it over to Allie to kind of go a little bit more into detail of the required communications.
Yes, so on slide 4 was just an overview of some of our required communications. You can see anything that has an X on it is no matters to report. Great news for management. I'll say Albert and Chris are wonderful to work with. It's almost as soon as we ask for something, it's already in our inbox or uploaded to our share site. So it's really wonderful to work with Albert and Chris, and they do a really fantastic job. So then moving on to slide 5. Good news again here, no consultations needed, no actual suspected fraud that was identified via our inquiries or our testing. And of course, as of today, we are independent of EFC, which is of course very important. Slide 6, kind of covers, the audit report that Jeff already went through. Again, still have the single audit to do as well. You'll see in the opinion that there are 2 paragraphs that are consistent with prior years related to the required supplementary information and the other information, that being the MD&A. We do read that and review it, make sure it's materially consistent with the audited financials, but those sections of the report are unaudited. And then any significant accounting policies are included in footnote 2 for your reference. So if there's any questions with that, definitely take a look. So then, yes, on to the audit results. I won't, drain these slides, but as an overview, for cash and investments, we do confirm with the external parties the balances, make sure that they are appropriately recorded within the trial balance. Any reconciling items we'll also take a look at if they are material. Related to bonds receivable and bonds payable, we will send confirmations either to the localities that the bonds receivable with or the trustee that the payables are with, making sure that those accounts are recorded appropriately as well. On slide 8, related to OPEB, we do receive the GASB 75 schedule from the actuary. We'll make sure that that looks reasonable and is appropriately presented within the footnotes, as well as it's a report that has a lot of information in it and is required to be disclosed. For grant income and project revenue, we do select a sample of revenue that is recognized throughout the year to make sure that it's appropriately presented and recognized for the year under audit, so 3/31/2026. And then ultimately, we do receive the financial report that you all have and make sure that our testing agrees to that report and provides us with assurance that it's all reasonably stated as well. We do also have subsequent events that we will review throughout our issuance date. I know Tuesday, I believe, is a bond issuance, correct? So that will likely be in the report because our planned issuance is next Thursday, the 25th. So that will be an addition to the report that you all already received. So that additional disclosure will be included as well. And we'll receive that, finalized agreement and make sure that anything that needs to be disclosed is there as well. On slide 9, we do have one significant accounting estimate within our audit, and that relates to the investments that are recorded. Management does use a third party to, value those estimates, and that's what's included in the report. We also perform independent price testing over those investments to make sure that the values that are recognized by management are reasonably stated in accordance with our third party that also will value those as well. So we did find those to be reasonably stated this year as well. Slide 10 again goes over the management discussion and analysis and the other supplementary information that, again, we review and make sure is materially consistent with the audit report. And then lastly, on slide 11 is just our required inquiries. Won't go through all of these. This is just a memory jogger, but if there's any that, pique someone's interest that wants to further discussion, more than happy to discuss that now. But otherwise, we'll take any questions. I know it's kind of a quick overview for everything that Albert, Chris, and our team does, but it's always very smooth, which is a testament to management and the tight ship that's run here.
So it's great report, great comments, great, thanks for sending the info ahead of time. The OPEDs at the, right, the future OPED.
Yep.
You don't rely on EFC for any of that, do you? Those calculations?
Not necessarily, because it's directly from the actuary, because management records.
Yeah, so you're told all of that, percent of the total statewide number, and then the calculation you do you do that in-house, or do you have somebody else do that? Those calculations on the future value given the discount rate and the future
We don't do anything directly to kind of evaluate that because it does come directly in from a report that's certified.
Yeah, who does that?
So we have an actuary that we have a contract
Separate.
with, and separate, and then we provide all of our, employee population data
Yeah,
and
that's
to
right.
them, and then they do their actuarial
Right.
magic and.
And they show you
Nice long report.
how it can go up and
Yep.
down. Pretty,
Yeah,
it can fluctuate pretty wildly.
Yeah.
Given the assumptions.
yeah. So our valuation is done, we do a full valuation every
Yeah,
2
that's
years and then a roll forward every year.
Yeah.
And the change in the discount rate over
Right,
the past
of course.
year had a somewhat,
Right.
it was a few $1 million
Yeah,
just due to the discount rate
Yeah.
change, which is based on the 20-year bond buyer municipal index.
So, but it's sort of in, again, this question, so it's in the KPMG write-up, but you guys really, it's not your number at all.
What we typically, depending on the year, in the roll forward, a lot of times we will review some of the assumptions from consistency. A lot of times with assumptions of discount rate, you're relying on an industry marker that we're looking at and making sure that the same consistent industry marker is applied. We're looking at some of the other information out there on the market and validating that it's appropriate, whether it be any new mortality tables and all that.
Right.
If there were significant changes in those elements, the firm does hire a employs actual firm specialists that are actuaries, and they will go through and do a detailed review of the calculation that is performed by management specialists, as just alluded to. But being this is a roll forward year, we don't necessarily get too deep into that. Every other year, we do typically bring in and involve our actuary to go through a full-fledged calculation and reassess some of those assumptions that are utilized. But there are certain assumptions that does come from the state that are being relied upon, and certain assumptions, like I said, that are coming from industry marks. We are always looking at that to make sure that they're not significantly changing, because that would impact our approach and make us want to bring that actual specialist in more. But from what we saw in our review and risk assessing of that area, nothing raised any questions on the assumptions that were being utilized or the data elements.
Right, got it. Okay, that's good. Thanks for the
Good question.
answer. No, yep, appreciate it. No, I appreciate it all that. Francis, you have anything else?
No, that was a good question, Charlie.
I'll have a question. Just for inquiry purposes with regard to fraud, you're perfectly satisfied with segregation of duties, double checks, all of the workflow on there with respect to the ability to?
Yeah, so we do significant work over the journal entry process. We do walkthroughs. We have controls that we test over journal entries. And we test a certain number of journal entries as well. And over in those, controls and testing, we do find that there's 2 levels of approval, and someone else is also creating the journal entry. So there's 3 different levels that are looking at a journal entry, which is of course very good in terms of, segregation of duties. So.
Fabulous.
That's something Albert takes very seriously.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to ask it out loud and hear it again, because I do like
Yeah.
that, because it is a very important piece of the fraud related.
It's a risk that we identify at every organization, the ability of management in their unique position and able to perpetuate that fraud. As Ali alluded to, we look at the controls surrounding the way that entries are being recorded to your financial statements. We utilize some of our tools to identify transactions that may seem out of the ordinary, whether it be maybe they're being booked to a seldom used general ledger account, or certain items are being booked to revenue that just don't make sense, like the accounts that are being utilized. We try to analyze the population and say, if management were to try to infiltrate and compromise these financials, how could that be done? Very low number of entries are identified in those situations, which really kind of alludes to the fact that it isn't going on. But when we do identify those, we are reviewing them and getting the underlying support. Albert's team has sufficient support. They provide us to back up every entry that's been recorded that we requested.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent. Just one more question on the inquiry. Were there any other subsequent events or future looking statements that I just didn't see, but anything was a heads up on?
Nothing other than the bond issuance that is going
That we
on
just talked about.
today. Yep.
Okay.
So now we meet with the auditors, the committee, board members. We have a brief conversation with them privately. Should we do that now? Great, thanks. Are we back? Great. We had a private meeting with the KPMG and we are back. And I call for a motion to recommend to the full board that we accept the auditor's report and the financial statements.
I'll make a motion to accept
Second.
the report from the
Second,
auditors.
thank you, Francis. All in favor of accepting?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, great. We're required by the Public Authorities Law to discuss rotation of the lead partner every 5 years. Jeff has been the lead for 3, so we don't need to change lead partner. So, and we don't need a vote. We do need to talk about the internal audit function and having one according to Public Authorities Law. You know, do we need one? And I'm open to any opinions about that if we think at this time the corporation needs an internal audit function.
I would say, given the review and our questioning with KPMG, I would say that we do not need one.
Francis, any opinion?
He would agree at that.
I think so.
I
I
agree.
agree with you.
I think we talked about this,
Yeah,
if
exactly.
PSC ever did need
Correct.
an independent auditor.
It's good to
we
talk
have-
about it, and there are, things change right now. I think,
We have an internal audit team that
Yep.
could assist with.
right, and right now doesn't seem to be required. So I think we take a vote, make a motion to, pass on that.
I'll make a motion to pass on it independent.
Great, okay, great. All in favor?
I'll
Aye.
second. Aye.
Thank you. Great, awesome. I think we're done with this committee, audit committee. I'll take a motion to adjourn the audit committee.
Motion to adjourn.
Thanks. Second, Francis?
He would say.
Yeah, I'll second it. All in favor of adjourn?
Speaking for Francis.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Proxy vote.
There it is.
There
Awesome.
he is. He's
We're good.
calling in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for
That's lovely.
coming in.
Thanks for coming in. Great.